Hello viewers, welcome to Mishti's Ideas. Today's video is about fusion food where I use Eastern and Western ingredients or spices to jazz it up. It's 30-minute prep time, 20 minutes cook time, plus 1 hour for marination. So here is my recipe for stir-fried beef with broccoli and red peppers. I'm using a 3-pound eye of round roast piece here, which comes from the hind leg of the cow. Now, when you're cutting meat, you always have to cut against the grains, the fibers. Otherwise, they become very chewy and they are not tender easily. So cut against the grain like I'm showing here. I'm cutting a centimeter pieces here, and then I will cut again into centimeter strips. But like I said, always cut against the grain. This is the cut for your steaks, for your kebabs, for your stir fries, anything that you want a quick marination and cook nicely in short time. If you cook meat for a very long time, they do get to be kind of chewy. Now these are the spices I'm gonna use for marination. A detailed description is given below. You have to grind it to a fine powder. This will yield about 4 to 5 tablespoons, but for this recipe, I'm only gonna use 1 teaspoon of this. For marination, I also need some salt, soy sauce, ginger garlic paste, and ground pepper. So this recipe is for about 10 people with 3 pounds of meat. And if you are making for less people, then just adjust the ingredients accordingly. So I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt, about 1 teaspoon of the spices that I made, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, this is the light soy sauce, and 3 tablespoons of freshly made ginger garlic paste, and some freshly ground pepper. So once you add all these, make sure to mix it nicely, coat all those meat pieces nicely with that marination, and you have to marinate for about an hour, maximum 24 hours in a fridge, and after that, this is the look it gives you. Next step is to get the vegetables ready for the stir fry. I'm just going to use some broccoli, red peppers, and a couple of onions. When you're cutting all the vegetables for a particular dish, this is a great tip. Make sure they all have similar sizes or shapes so that when you are serving it, it looks really pleasant to the eyes, and try to make it colorful again for making it looking nicer. We're doing the same thing with the onions, cutting them similar shape as the peppers. And for the broccolis, I'm just gonna take the florets out and stir fry them. So one thing with broccoli is always added at the last minute, because if you want the crunchiness, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to cook. Now before I start frying the meat, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and mix it well. What's gonna happen is when I start frying it, it's gonna give it a nice creamy texture. So that's the whole purpose of it, and tastes really good. Next, heat up the fry pan on high heat for about a couple of minutes. Then add 1 tablespoon of oil and 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds. Toast the sesame seeds for about half a minute before we go to the next step. Because I have almost 3 pounds of meat here, so I'm just gonna add half of that at the first batch and then do the other half after this is done. Cooking time will not be more than 10 minutes. As soon as the juice runs clear, there is no traces of blood, and the water that came out from the meat evaporates, your meat is ready to be set aside. So, don't cook it more than 10 minutes. See how it looks after 10 minutes. All the water is gone, and I'm just going to set it aside for the next step. Now in the same pan, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil, 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds, and my onions and my red peppers. You're just going to stir fry them for about 4 minutes. As soon as the pepper starts smelling wonderfully, you're ready to add about 1 teaspoon of salt and add the rest of the broccolis. Again, broccolis takes no more than 5 minutes to cook. So altogether, the vegetables will cook for about 7 or 8 minutes. That's it. You want a bit of crunchiness in it. And then you are going to add all the meat to the vegetables. This is a really simple meal for weekdays and my go-to one as well. So I definitely recommend it. Once the beef are added, you just have to mix it. It's already cooked, and then ready to garnish it with some ground pepper, some more sesame seeds, and a little bit of sesame oil. And here it is, our healthy lean beef stir fry with broccoli and red pepper. You can serve it with a side of rice, and it's a really balanced diet. So bon appetit! Thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stay with me to have some more serious fun.